Hello YouTubers and welcome to another figure review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Five Nights at Freddy's Wave 1 Bonnie figure, the original Bonnie figure and one of the original 5. So taking a look at the packaging, you can see it's just the standard Five Nights at Freddy's blister card, which in fairness it does show off the figure very well. However, a con of this is that other than the top where we have the artwork, which is just taken directly from the game, the background is completely black, which it would be nice to see like with the sister location figures, they had maybe something in the background, possibly more of the office and that. Though nevertheless, it does show off the figure very well, and it is, you know, your standard blister card, so there's not really a lot to it. Taking a look at the back of the blister card, it just shows off the other figures in the range, and the builder figure, which in Wave 1 was Springtrap. Alright, just before I get into things, apologies because due to the circumstances I am unable to film in my usual location on the table, so we're going to have to make do with what I have here. Now, just to start off, I am so happy that Funko decided to start making highly detailed, articulated action figures in a 5-inch scale range. Not just Five Nights at Freddy's, but other ranges as well. They're slowly starting to push out, like the Disney Afternoon figures, I believe they make, and also the Rick and Morty figures. Although they aren't the best 5-inch figures you can get, I think the Five Nights at Freddy's ones are probably the best ones they make, and there is a reason for this, but also the fact that it shows that Funko, yes, they can actually put effort into stuff when they think about it. Because if you know me, I fucking hate those bloody pop vinyls. They are some of the worst things I have ever seen. But they are slowly starting to die out, so I'll let bygones be bygones. Anyway, let's review this Bonnie figure. Now, if you take a look at it, you'll realise the Bonnie figure and the Golden Freddy figure and the regular Freddy figure, they all use the same body. But then again, so did they in the games. So let's take a look at this thing a bit closer up, shall we? So if we take a look at the head sculpt is pretty good. You've got the purple irises around the eyes, and also the lighter purple on the ears, and the ears are not perfectly straight, they are slightly bent out and slightly bent there. They're made of a slightly rubberized plastic. This is probably so that they don't just snap off. However, I imagine if you did bend them enough, they probably would just snap off. But hey, also the shaping of the head is really good, and also it has, the whole body has this sort of like texture to it to make it seem, I don't know, more like felt or more like an actual animatronics costume. We've also got the nose at the front here as well, which is correct in it being black. However, something they got wrong with Wave 1 is they gave all the characters front teeth, or should I say top teeth. Now, I think possibly the reason that they did this is maybe on a figure it might have looked a bit odd, a bit weird, because you would have just had a massive gap just here. But you know, it is what it is, and it is inaccurate, unfortunately. But something like this I don't mind, because it's not like a major thing that, you know, they haven't given him the wrong ears or something and that, so I'll let bygones be bygones. Something that isn't too noticeable with this figure, however, is noticeable with the Foxy figure and the Nightmares, is the fact that the teeth are just sculpted on to this plastic. There's like no gap, it's just black, painted black plastic with then the white teeth, which are moulded, part of the mould. So with this it doesn't look too bad in that, but with the Foxy figure there's just a massive black plastic round his mouth because it's all one piece. It would have been nice if maybe the jaw was a separate piece, or maybe just a bit of a gap in there, just to, you know, show that there's a bit more space. But on this figure it doesn't look too bad, so I'm not going to hold it against it, but that is something on the others. Also, the body is basically the same colour, purple as the head, and it is pretty accurate to the game as well. I like also the fact that they've given it a sort of dirty wash over the top to make it look old and, you know, used for many, many years, because, well, it would be. And given this dirty wash, you know, adds another level to it, and it makes it look, you know, less like a figure, more like a display piece. It does look like it is a really nice display piece if you want to display it, and I generally have all of my FNAF figures sealed up in their boxes. This is the only double that I have, so I decided to open it. And taking a look at the legs, you can see you've got the knee joint here. However, the knee actually bends above the actual knee pad here. It would be nice if the knee pad was a separate piece, or slightly separate, maybe to give the impression of a slight bit of a gap. And the shoulder sections are a bit weird, the shoulders actually. If I just let the camera focus in on here, you can see that they've got a completely different texture and look a slightly different colour to the rest of the figure. This looks really weird, in my opinion. I mean, as far as I can tell from the game, and that they should be exactly the same as the rest of the body. So I don't know why they've done this. Maybe they needed a harder, more rigid plastic, because pretty much all of the other joints are these hard silver ball joints, where as the actual plastic made for the body in that, although it is solid plastic, it has a sort of soft rubberized effect around it. Taking a look at the feet, it's just there's 3 toes and purple undersides. They look perfectly fine, and also the fact that these feet are so wide means that he can stand up on his own pretty well. If we now, a common complaint with these Wave 1 figures is the ball joints, and the fact that they pop off very easily. And I can tell you that with this one, this is obviously, I got this one about a week or so ago, so at the time recording this in 2018, the ball joints are better than what they originally were. However, I noticed with the Springtrap leg that it pops off very, very easily. And so did one of these arms. I think it was this one, but from what I've heard with the original batch, because this was a later batch, they actually have unofficially re-released it. The reason I know this is because on places like Zavvi and Forbidden Planet, it actually went up, the Wave 1 figures actually went up for pre-order again, so I'm assuming that they've re-released it and tried to, you know, make the ball joints a bit better. He comes with his guitar, which I'm not going to remove because this is another problem I have with the figure. The hands are far too hard plastic, and it is extremely difficult to put his guitar in his hands, even though the guitar looks absolutely excellent. I mean, you've got the tuning picks at the end. Excuse me. You've got the strings going down. I mean, it looks exactly like the guitar does in the actual game, which, to be honest, is probably the most accurate accessory, and I'm so glad it was included. Though the hands, I wish there wasn't a hard plastic. You know, really, I think it would have been better if they were like made of the same material as the ears, this slightly rubberized plastic, so it would be easier to actually put the guitar in his hands, because it took me about 20 minutes to put the guitar in his hands. I had to actually remove one of the arms to actually pose him with the guitar. Now, unlike Freddy or the other figures, he can actually be posed properly with the guitar, which is very nice, because the articulation is very limited. You've got ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed at the arms. You've got 360 degrees articulation at the wrists. The head can slightly nod and also do 360s. You've got articulation at the legs, where they can't really move forward and back very much. However, they can go out to the side slightly and bend. So articulation, it's meh. It's alright. It's not the best. It's not the worst I've ever seen. But I do like the way that they've integrated the ball joints as the actual joints in an animatronic. This helps disguise the actual articulation joints For example, I've noticed in the Rick and Morty figures, the joints, particularly at the elbows, are really painstakingly obvious. Whereas this really does disguise it a lot more, which is really nice. Also, last thing to note is the bow tie, which is just part of the sculpt. It is sculpted on, but it is the correct red. I believe it should be slightly darker, but again, really nice and really well done. So, overall, what do I think of this figure? Well, I think it is absolutely excellent, and you should definitely pick it up, particularly, obviously, if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, because this is the best Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise. Hands down, it is the best Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise. You know, it is a fully detailed and articulated figure and that, and the line keeps going on. Something I would like to ask, Funko, when will the UK and pretty much everywhere else outside of the US be getting that Lolbit 5-inch figure? You know, when will we be getting that 5-inch articulated figure? I mean, I'm not bothered how long I'll have to wait to get it, but, you know, the US got it back into last year, so we're now in 2018 and we've still heard absolutely nothing, so, you know, it would be nice just to tell us when it's going to be released, but that's my little two-piece on that. Overall, the Bonnie figure is probably the best out of Wave 1. Although, saying that, you know, he's probably... I don't know, because I actually got this from my local Toys R Us, which is closing down, and because I got my discount, which is why I've got him. But, you know, the Wave 1 figures are surprisingly still fairly easy to get. If you live in the UK, you can get them from most, not just online retailers, but toy retailers as well. You can still find the Wave 1 figures. I found that actually the Nightmare figures and most of the sister location figures are actually the hardest ones to actually get, which it does seem a bit odd. Maybe because, as I said, Wave 1 has been unofficially re-released, so possibly that is the reason why. But anyway, that's it for this review. If there's anything you'd like me to review in the future, please let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.